I can't believe this story because I thought we dealt with this situation very publicly with Baroness Tanni Grey-Thompson back in 2000 at the Sports Personality Awards. But the lack of wheelchair assistance at King's Cross Station resulted in Baroness Tanni Grey-Thompson, 16-time Paralympic wheelchair racing champion and absolute legend of sport, having to crawl off the train by herself on Monday night as she made her way to the Paralympic Games. She's been very outspoken about this, and rightly so. And we're going to speak to you guys in a minute. First of all, they're going to cross over to Baroness Tanni Grey-Thompson, who's joined us from Paris. Good morning, Tanni. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Morning.
It's lovely to see you. You're in Paris at the moment for the Paralympics.
I am, yeah. It's looking great, actually. Yeah, we're hoping for good things from the British team.
Not the ideal start for you before you even got off British soil. Tell us what happened at the train station the other night.
So I was going from Leeds to London. I missed the train I'd actually booked assistance for. Got to the station, quarter of an hour before the next train, asked, could I get on that train? They said yes. I was helped on, and when I got to King's Cross, there was no one to meet me. So you're meant to give it about 5 minutes, for someone to come and get you off. That didn't happen. And when it got to 16 minutes, I was sort of posting on social media. I was calling the assistance line, trying to get in touch with someone. I ended up just like screaming from the train. I mean, I can shout across a 400-metre track, so I was being very loud. And yeah, 16 minutes later, no one came, so I decided to get off. So had to transfer from my chair to the floor, then push my chair off and put my other stuff on the platform, and then get off the train. A cleaner did offer to help, but they're not insured. And to be fair, the cleaner couldn't do anything I couldn't do myself. And then as I was getting into my chair, a member of staff saw me and came over.
Wow. Tanni, that is honestly unbelievable. I've never heard of anything like it, having to physically crawl off the train. I mean, how did that make you feel?
At that moment, really angry. And then partly, I've got a platform. I'm quite resilient from being an athlete. So, I can do it. There's loads of disabled people that can't. I looked at whether I could pull the emergency cord, which would have stopped the train moving north. I couldn't actually reach it. I think somebody said to me, was it humiliating? It was like, that bit wasn't. But the fact that, we do have a legal right to turn up and go. But if you haven't booked, you turn up at a train station, you've almost got to plead, to get on a train. Can I get on it? No, I haven't booked. And that's the thing. All I want is the same miserable experience of commuting as everyone else. I am not asking for anything else. I mean, I just want to get on and off a train. But there's been lots of support. Lots of disabled people have written to me to say, they've had similar experiences. And there's also been a backlash. I've had a lot of, you're entitled, you shouldn't be out on your own on a bank holiday. It's your fault for getting left on a train. And that's sort of quite interesting as well, in terms of people who think that disabled people should be locked away.
Gosh. I'm delighted to say I know Tanni quite well. I would never speak to Tanni like that because she will rip you apart. Tanni, you missed your train, so you were on a second train and you hadn't organised for help on the later train. But I guess the point here is you shouldn't have to ring ahead. Now, I know the infrastructure is old, a lot of these stations, the newer stations are probably better equipped, but you shouldn't have to think ahead like that. You should be able to commute just like everybody else, right?
Yeah, so I'd gone to the assistance desk. They'd agreed for me to get on the train. Somebody put me on that train. So somebody knew that I was on the train, and whether it's a breakdown in communication, human failure happens, absolutely. But in that moment when I was stuck, it realises you realise how few options that are available to you. And every train company's got a different system. The booking app is only, basically a web page that links to all the... Everyone's got a different system. And, the system is pretty broken. I take a lot of train journeys every year. Every time I worry about whether I'm going to be able to get off. And it's quite stressful. And you've got to leave extra time to get to this. You've got to be at the station 30 minutes before your train. You've got to leave time, because you don't know how long it's going to take to get off. It probably takes me, it's a couple of hours of my week, every week, that is just spent planning for me to get on a train, and basically getting on a train for me to go to work.
It's just not good enough, is it? And I have to say, it's something that you're not always aware of when you're able-bodied. And only my small experience has been since having a baby and having a pushchair, even something with wheels. It's opened my eyes to how inaccessible so many places are. If there is a lift, half the time it's out of order. Getting on and off trains, onto tubes or trams. It's a daily struggle if you are disabled. I think it's awful. This has struck such a chord with our viewers. We're getting so many messages coming in. Letty said, I've actually been asked to move out of a disabled bay before because the event organiser decided I wasn't disabled enough. I have a hidden disability and I actually fear the judgment because of experiences like this.
Oh, there's so many messages here as well.
I mean, this one from Sarah, my disabled daughter has been visiting colleges over the last 10 months and we were shocked at the attitudes of the staff. She was met with a list of things they won't and they can't do and a list of things that she has to be able to do herself or she can't attend there. There was no warm welcome, no discussion about her needs, which is what should happen. She's been made to feel like she's not wanted and it's too much trouble. Do you find, Tanni, that a lot of it does feel like it's on you, it's all on you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, with trains, if there's a failure, the first thing any train company will say was, did you book? Well, whether I booked or not, somebody put me on a train. There is a system. They won't give you any more the phone numbers for the train stations. There's two that I know that you can contact somebody on the platform, Paddington and Euston. But it's only because I travel a lot that I know those two numbers even exist. So, yeah, the disabled people are blamed all the time. And things have moved on. You know, I've been a wheelchair user a long time. You know, but I thought we'd be done with fighting for some of this stuff by now. And, you know, I'm resilient, you know, I can look after myself. There's so many disabled people. If somebody had been an electric wheelchair user, I don't know what they would have done. They could have ended up going back up north again. And only when, you know, they came through to check tickets would they've been found to be on the train. You know, it's just a bit exhausting, to be honest.
Tanni, I'm so glad you're using your powerful voice because it's going to help a lot of people out there. And as ever, articulate and calm, but I'm sure you must be absolutely fierce. Have a great Paralympics, by the way. I'm feeling another record haul for Team GB.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, we're going to see some amazing performances. Paris want to, you know, beat London. London was, you know, the watershed moment for the Games. So we're looking for some really good performances out here.
Oh,
thanks so much for your time, Tanni. We'll speak to you soon. Take care of yourself. Just to say, LNER have given us a statement. They said, we're sorry to understand there has been an issue at King's Cross Station on Monday evening. We're in the process of investigating this and are in contact with the customer directly, who's Tanni Grey-Thompson, of course. Nick, what's even more disappointing about this, Nick, is that it was December 2000, I think, when Tanni rightly won a BBC Sports Personality of the Year award, and she couldn't receive it on the stage because they hadn't put a ramp in. We're still having the same conversations.
Remember it vividly, and I'm struck by what Sean just said with the number of people, number of your viewers who are getting involved. You're absolutely right, Greg. She's got a powerful voice. I've had the privilege of meeting her a number of times. But I do think this is something that needs to be taken up possibly by an MP or two, because there are people out there who should not be treated in this fashion. This is almost like Victorian days, and action must be taken and swiftly.
I mean, this is the problem, Tim, isn't it? Some of the stations are in, structurally, Victorian days. There is a physical issue. A train's pulling up to a platform and gaps, and it will take big investment to fix it. But it's investment they just simply have to do, right?
Well, sometimes it's not even about investment. It's just about common decency. The reality is somebody put her on a train. They could have just made a phone call, a radio signal, a carrier pigeon, whatever, just to let them know that Dame Tanni was coming on her way and could somebody just meet her. It wasn't complicated. I worked on TfL for a number of years. This was not a complicated thing. But you also raised the important point. Someone with a buggy. We've had Sophie on here on airplanes. There's been a number of different conversations. We need a minister to grab hold of this, as Nick said, just to own this and take responsibility and kick these companies into action.
Yeah, I sometimes think as well it is just the lack of human contact at all these points. More and more staff are being stripped away, aren't they? And this is where we're getting the problems, because there's no one with common sense just out and about to notice these things.
As my mum said, common sense is sometimes not common, though.
Absolutely.
She's a wise lady.
Cheers.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.